I've just realised that all our songs today are going to be a bit depressing, a bit gloomy.
Well, use somebody later on, isn't?
Yeah, I know, but they're all very, very gloomy, very Batman vibes.
Well, yeah, it's Batman. I mean, it's not really a cheery-esque
I mean, I suppose that's
franchise.
one of the best things that DC didn't do, is they didn't make him too millennial. I don't know. They didn't try to Marvelise Batman.
That is true.
I think that brings us quite swiftly into our second section, which is obviously just going to be us talking about Batman for this movie, obviously cast by Robert Pattinson, which, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all I'd really seen him in was, well, as Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter,
Yeah.
the fourth one, and then I have seen the first Twilight film.
Have you seen the first Twilight film? Oh my goodness.
I have, and it wasn't by choice.
How have you not watched them all? I'm going to make you watch them all now.
Don't you dare.
I will. I'm not going to do it.
Don't you dare. I will never talk to you again. The first one, it was 2 hours of my life I was never going to get back.
They get better, and then they get worse.
Well, I think it must be a massive jump in quality, because the first one I was sitting there going, I can act better than this, and I can't act. So
yeah, I mean, I think people were a bit up in arms when they announced Robert Pattinson as the Batman. I don't think people were a bit too pleased about it, but he's kind of won us all over as Batman.
he was great in it.
Yeah, like...
He was perfect casting for it.
Yeah, he kind of gives off this very emo-ish vibe, you know? Especially with the eye makeup.
I was about to say, he's the first Batman person to actually do the eye makeup underneath.
No, I thought they had it, but it just never been addressed that he has makeup underneath his mask.
Yeah, no, I think that's what. I think that's what more it was.
Usually
It's like,
they take it
you
off
see,
and it's
yeah,
gone.
by the time he took his mask off, the eye makeup was gone
In the
in the other films. But no, he took his mask off, it's just like just black eyeliner.
I mean, I think he's succeeded in convincing me that he is Batman. I think I'd be a bit disappointed if I don't get to see him in another movie as the character.
Yeah, I've seen some people criticise his portrayal of Bruce Wayne, so Batman's also alter ego, because it didn't feel like the Playboy type-esque that we've had in the past. But it makes sense because he's like a juvenile Batman. He's only like meant to be like his mid to late 20s. He's only been doing Batman for 2 years.
Yeah.
He's still learning. It kind of makes sense why he's kind of like a
Him jotting his notes down, like, you know, his
social
diary.
person. It makes sense that he's putting all his effort into being Batman. That
doesn't really attend to his other side, which is Bruce Wayne. And I think it's nice to not see this Playboy aspect of Bruce Wayne, because I think maybe in the 21st century, the idea of a Playboy superhero, I don't know, is it welcomed as much?
It kind of annoys me. Like, I know I shouldn't compare it to Marvel, but I feel like the comparison is definitely with
You're always going to
Tony
get
Stark,
yeah.
And I've never really liked Tony Stark's character.
I don't
People
like
are going to say that I'm wrong for that, but I've never really got into his character as much, just because I don't know.
Watches them gets cancelled over not liking Tony Stark.
I didn't cry at the end of Endgame.
Oh my!
I don't know.
I cried.
At his death, like I cried at other things at the end of Endgame. It was like maybe I felt a bit teary at Peter Parker's reaction to Tony's death, but I don't think I cried actually at.
That's a bit sad, actually. You're like, main character, everyone was crying and weeping over, and you're like, just another guy on the ground, I suppose, really.
That's not what I meant!
That was what you meant,
No,
don't
it's
lie.
not! You made me sound like some sort of like serial killer.
You heard it here first, folks.
Could get you done for slander for this.
Oh, no, please don't. I don't have the money to fight the court case. But I think it was interesting to see more time of him being Batman than Bruce Wayne, if you know what I mean. Obviously, he spends a lot of time, you know. It's actually kind of weird to see him... Obviously, I think in the TV shows and the comics, he's actually never really worked that well with law enforcement. And you kind of get that vibe that the police are starting to resent him because he keeps doing their job for them. And I'm just saying, just do better.
I genuinely can't remember any other Batman films right now off the top of my head. So I'm thinking...
I remember the main detective.
Remember.
I remember the main detective from the TV show. I can't remember what his name is.
Seen that.
But he's very well cast. He looks pretty much exactly like his comic book counterpart, which is very nice to see. I also I like the idea that the mayor as well is kind of. I love how nobody reveals his secret identity. Like, you know, nobody knows. Not even Catwoman knows, right?
No, she doesn't. No,
she just likes the mask, yeah.
What is this conversation?
I don't know what this conversation turned into.
No, nobody knows his well, apart from obviously Alfred the butler.
Yeah.
who I thought was going to be in it more. However, looking back, it kind of made sense why he wasn't in that much because we aren't focusing on Bruce Wayne. We're not focusing per se on the Wayne family. We kind of are with like the corruption, but we're not focusing on the character of Bruce Wayne. We're seeing Batman.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of also love the idea that his father is not like a... Well, was he a good man? I can't tell.
Yeah, no, I think he was. It was that he made a mistake. He did.
He trusted the wrong people.
Yeah, he wanted to silence that journalist, but basically I think it meant like bribe silence.
Yeah, he didn't
but
mean
the guy
like,
went,
take
I'm
the
just
guy.
going to kill him.
Yeah.
Bang, bang. And then Thomas Wayne's just like, oh, I've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
I think it was more that. It didn't mean for someone to die.
Yeah, he had good intentions, but they just didn't go the way he wanted. And that's what happens when you hang out with gangsters, I think. You know?
Yeah, it's never really a good idea.
No, it's just never. I think... what was I going to say there?
We've lost all track of what this section is.
I know, but I loved the Batman. I loved the suit. The suit was good.
The suit was cool.
It didn't feel too bulky, but it still took up a lot of... Like, all the police officers just getting out of the way of him. Like...
Yeah.
But I love I keep going about what I loved about this Batman, but there is a lot to love, so why not? I was thinking about how there was obviously how the police officers react to him as Batman versus how they react to him as Bruce Wayne. Like, yes. I love that difference.
It's quite funny because also the policemen don't know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. It's quite funny, different reactions, and they go, we obviously know as an audience it's the same person.
Yeah. And
they don't realise.
And it's quite fun to see them, like, glare at him 1 minute and then bounce.
Like at the funeral, but they're all just like so happy and cheery to see him because he never like ventures out as Bruce Wayne, obviously, because he's probably sleeping during the day.
Hanging upside down in a beam or something.
Oh god, he actually looks like he would though. But yeah, it's quite funny. He's like, Bruce, you're out.
You're outside. Well done.
Congratulations, you've left your mansion.
Yeah, and I love how the beginning as well. How did you feel about this at the end, where it was like, so it starts off with him saying, I don't know if I'm actually making a difference, and then it ends with him saying, I think I'm making a difference.
Yeah, it's a good one because it was kind of like a beginner's character arc type thing, he wasn't sure of himself, and yet he was still doing it, and I'm glad he did, because obviously then he had to, fight this corruption, big story that is the Batman film, and then at the end he realises, he's doing good because he kind of saved the city. I don't really know.
I think the whole thing, it felt like at the beginning he was very detached from Gotham itself, and he didn't really care about the people. He just kind of wanted to stop crime or something like that. But by the end, he's out helping people, risking his own life. So yeah, I think it was very well explored, and I think it's a great Batman that Robert Pattinson has been able to bring to the screen. Hopefully will go down in the history books as one of the best, maybe.
And this also is like a whole separate universe to the DCEU, so they're planning on doing more films.
So they're not going to
just with this story. It's going to be like a self-contained.
They've learned from their lesson. Do not intertwine him with Superman.
Yeah.
Okay. As much as we'd love to see them fight it and duke it out, that's not.
No, that film's so boring. Speak for yourself. I remember watching it going, oh my gosh.
Right, so we'll just move on to the next song now, which is Everybody Knows by Sigrid. So I'll just get that on now.